why we say this, why people are like this. Well, many times, they say it's far, we have our own problems, we have to deal with domestic issues, which can we really say this when we have soldiers dying in these areas, not only for the United States, for many of our countries, have soldiers in these areas. But okay, let's forget about this. Let's talk about those areas where we don't have soldiers. Can we really say that it's far? It won't actually get back to us when the whole world is so interconnected. Did anyone think in, let's say, 1995, that those bad guys in big gowns and turbans in the Afghan mountains will appear on our televisions every day a few years later on? How do we know what is important in our lives, or what will be important in our future? Because let's not forget about what Bin Laden succeeded in doing. He basically globalized terrorism, because what did he do? He convinced the different freedom fighters of different regions of the world, talking about Algeria, Central Asia, or even Chechnya, to get out of their local problems and to fight for a greater jihad against the US and against the Western world. Things change very fast, and we have to keep up with it. Things change fast, not only because of globalization, only because of technology. I've been working at the TV for 5 years now, and even these 5 years, I noticed remarkable changes in technology. My work changed remarkably. I remember I was in Darfur 4 years ago. We didn't even have the chance to broadcast any news from there because it was impossible, basically. And then just a year later on, when the Lebanon-Israeli war was going on, I had the chance to broadcast from satellite from Beirut almost every day, which is a big thing, even though it was so expensive that my bosses had to make tough decisions every night if they let me air or not. And then just 2 years later on in Pakistan, I was filing almost for free of charge reports on a daily basis through internet, through FTP, which is amazing from Pakistan, who would think? And was the future? From CNN, I only learned that there's a little bag about this big, and with that, it's basically, it is called Beacon, and you can go into the middle of the desert and broadcast live with such an apparatus, and it doesn't even cost a lot. So things change a lot, and this can be a great help for us, but also a great responsibility, because as you might have noticed also in the news, as the technology changes, it puts a lot of pressure and responsibility on us, because we don't have even time many times to think. We have to be really, we have to take the chance to think it over, that we want to be the first, or we want to be the most trustworthy ones, that we double check and we don't get carried away with the chance of saying something, just as getting the information and giving it away. And it's a greater responsibility because it's simultaneous with the fact that we have less and less time to talk about problems. For example, I was at the Gaza border in Sderot in this December and January when the war was going on. Every day I had 60 seconds to talk about the war. Imagine, not 1 second more or less, because that was what I was told. You have 60 seconds. I basically had time to talk about how many people died that day on each front. And that's about it. How can we talk about explain wars? We have to help people to understand why these things are going on, because they are affecting our lives. We have to help people to understand. And we have to help to explain people why they have to help other countries. I don't know how many of you have heard about the Millennium Development Goals. Would you put up your hands who have heard about them? Okay, that's a quite good ratio. It's actually MDGs, so-called, were signed by 189 countries in 2000 to tackle the 8 global problems like famine, like to reduce child mortality and things like that. And I'm very happy to see some of you coming from Uganda, because in Uganda I was filming about these MDGs and child mortality. So that's where the whole idea came up, to try to explain to people that why there are in every 5 seconds there are children dying in the world, because they don't have enough food, and it's not only because of dying and starving, and it's not only because of diseases. It's also these are very complicated issues, and we are responsible in helping them. There's a financial crisis going on, but also a food crisis and a climate crisis. And we, the 20% of the world who have economies that are prosperous, cause all climate changes that causes floods and extreme weather conditions that make miserable lives on the rest of the world's 80%. So how can we say that it's not our problem, we don't have anything to do with this? So I know that my time is over and I get the signs I have to finish my speech, even though I would have loved to talk about why else we have to deal with the rest of the 80% of the world. But just to make it short, this is why this trip is so great, because we have the chance to exchange thoughts. This is why it's good, because I've heard that you are struggling with the same problems as we do, and it's a great trip because I think we make each other's, excuse me, I'm trying to be really quick. We try to make each other think, and maybe we can come up with solutions with each other a lot easier. So thank you very much for listening to me, and I wish you a great evening.